Hi guys, just wanted to go over chin-ups as well. So I spoke to a number of people towards the end of the week who getting a little bit of joy with their chin-ups, maybe managing a 2, maybe 3, 4, in some cases a little bit more. And I'm just trying to get around those that are doing chin-ups to try and give them a bit of a protocol to follow. So one of the main, most common challenges people have when it comes to chin-ups is that every time, if you can do 1 or 2, every time you go to do it, it's a maximum effort. And the problem with a maximum effort is that once you've done a maximum effort, it's very difficult to maintain that intensity for a number of reps or sets, should I say. So like, if, for example, let's suppose in your first set, you're at your freshest, so you're going to be at your strongest. You might be able to do 5, okay, if you really push it. The problem with that is in your next set, because you've just done a maximum 1 rep, almost like a 1 rep max equivalent, 5 reps, you're then going to struggle to do 5 again. It'll probably go to 4 or possibly even 3. And essentially what's going to happen is it's just going to nosedive all the way down. So, and you'll struggle to get any sort of volume, and it's very difficult to get further because you're only ever hitting your maximum effort or close to it once, and then there's a big drop off. So instead, you should be sort of following the same approach as you would if you were doing bench press or deadlifts or anything else really, because if you think about it, when you do bench press, you don't just go in and do your 1 rep max repeatedly or as many as you can. You've got to take a measured approach to it. And it's the same with chin-ups. So I've been saying to folk that a lot of the sessions I'm going to make sure that there's like 5 or 6 sets or opportunities to do 5 or 6 sets of chin-ups or lat pull downs in, with the view to getting consistent number of reps over 5 or 6 sets. So for example, if you can do 5 or 6 as a maximum, just decide you're going to try and do 6 sets of 3 instead as a starting point. Okay, and what that will also allow you to do is, what I found is, if you're constantly trying to do your maximum and then you're chasing that every time because you've got that number in your head, and the next time you come in, I did 5 last week, so I should be able to do 5 again, or I did 5 last week, so I need to try and do 6. That's when the bad form creeps in and people don't completely straighten their elbow because they're trying to chase the next rep. So another benefit of doing the sort of less reps but for more sets is that you can really just have patience to focus on the process and focus on the form. Okay, so it's the same as the lat pull down that I've just showed you. So you go for your underarm and you're going to pull from there. So you're pulling for your lats and then you just come up. And then when you come back down, you want to make sure that your arms are straight before you go into your next rep. Okay, so that is like, if you're only coming to here, it just doesn't count. It's not a full rep. Okay, and there's the reason people do that is because it's much easier. So we're wanting to get full range through the lats. On top of that, it's just build. That's where most of your strength is going to happen in the biggest range, when the lats at its biggest, most stretched position, the eccentric portion. So my advice to you is, give yourself a target of 6 sets of 2 or 6 sets of 3. And then if you achieve it, if you get all 6 sets of 2, the next week, start off with your 2s again, 2, 2, 2. And then you're looking for an overload from last week. So that will be 1 single rep for 1 single set. So 2, 2, 2, 3, maybe your 4th set, aim for a 3rd. And if you get it, and actually it's easier than you think it was going to be, then try and get a 3rd in your 5th set as well. And then back down to 2s. So it's very much methodically, once a week, looking just to add 1 rep to 1 set of all 6. So it's slow process. It's a slow process, but it's a really effective process. And I think that's the best bit of advice I could give to people when it comes to all strength training, not just the chin-ups, but in particular the chin-ups, but deadlifts, bench, whatever you're doing. You have to be very methodical with the process itself. And that's why you need to take notes of the weights you're lifting. And don't just put the weight on and think, oh, I'll just try that and see if I can lift it. Like, hold back, be disciplined to hold back and follow the structure that I'm advising you that you follow in terms of the reps, the sets. If you come in one week and it feels light or easier, great. That's a sign that you're getting a little bit stronger. And then you're just going to build from there. Okay, so it's like 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, and then the following week it might be 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. The next week it might be 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. You see where this is going? And then the following week it might be 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, and so on. And then in the space of 6 weeks, you've gone from doing 6 sets of 2 to 6 sets of 3. And you're in your head, you might be thinking, that's only 1 rep extra, but it's not. You've technically it's actually 50% more volume, because obviously like half of 2 is 1, right? So you've added 50% volume, and then you just repeat the process. And before you know where you are, well, not before you know where you are, but maybe 12 weeks down the line, this is a long block, you're doing maybe 5 sets of 4. And if you can do 5 sets of 4, you can be sure, or 6 sets of 4, you can be sure that for 1 set you're going to manage more than 4. And suddenly you're getting closer. Once you're doing 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 6, you're going to be able to do 10 for one maximum effort when you're fresh. So these are the things to sort of consider, okay? Focus on form and focus on the process.